Welcome to the Cutesy Shelf, it's Diem, and today I'm going to be bringing you a requested tutorial as I got like several questions asking how I made these little round gift boxes. And I started making these after I got a die set off of the Alina craft store on AliExpress, and this is what the die set looks like. It comes with these two pieces. So this first piece allows you to make a handle like you see on these bags or boxes, and then the other piece, it allows you to like make slits into strips of paper so that you're able to adhere those strips of paper to like shapes such as like hearts or ovals or circles that I have here. And so basically it allows you to make a shaped box. And then also, I just wanted to point out that like if you don't have this die, you're still able to make these round boxes, and I'll show you how to go about like doing that. And then another thing is I just wanted to point out that Alina Craft does already have like a tutorial on her YouTube channel, and she shows you how to make like a general round box as well as other ways to use the die. So I highly recommend that you watch that video, and I'm gonna link it in the description box below. But for this tutorial, I'm gonna show you like how I specifically made these boxes, and they measure like 3¼ inches across, and they have like a width of like 1½ inches. And then here's one I made using the Bloom Street paper by Paige Evans. And then of course, like these would be great for all occasions. So like for example, Halloween, Christmas, birthdays, and you can put all kinds of goodies in them and decorate them any way you want, of course. And here's an example of a Halloween one that I made. And then I just added like some charms to the handle just to make it cute. That's the back. And then here's a Christmas one that I made recently, and again, like I added charms to the side. And of course, like they all open up, and like once you see how it's made, you can of course adjust the measurements to make them in any way that you wish. And for these boxes, like I did give them a flat bottom because like I wanted them to be able to stand on their own. And this is just another one I made last night using a DCWV paper pad that I have. I believe it's called Confetti. So if you wanted to stick around, I'm going to be showing you how these are made. For the base of the box, I did make it using 110-pound cardstock because it's going to be much sturdier, and then your box is going to last longer as well. But if you wanted to use pattern paper, you can go ahead and do that as well. But for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm going to be using 110-pound cardstock. So first you're going to need to cut out 4 circles that measure 3¼ inches in diameter. And I just happen to use like this nesting die set that I have, and this like second largest circle measured 3¼ inches across. Okay, and then once you have your circles, what we're gonna need to do is, because I made the box like flat on the bottom, we're gonna just have to like cut off a bit of that circle. And I decided like I wanted it to be, I only wanted to cut off like 1½ inches from the bottom, or like I wanted to measure 1½ inches. So what I did is I'm just taking my ruler and then measuring 1½ inches, and then you're just gonna mark that with your pencil and then cut that piece off. Okay, and then once you have this as a template, you can cut all your other pieces. And then if you have your layering pieces, you can cut those off as well, since you have this template. But of course, you can also remeasure. Okay, so I did all that off camera. Like I have my 4 pieces. I have my 2 layering pieces, and just careful with your layering pieces if they're directional, that you're cutting off the bottom of it. Okay, and then the next thing that you'd need to do is you're gonna need to cut 2 strips of paper that measure 11 inches by 2 inches. And like I did that off camera as well. And then what you're gonna do is like on the like 2-inch side, we are gonna score it at 1.5 inches. Okay, and then we're just gonna turn this onto the 11-inch side and then also score at 1.5 inches. And then I would just mark this as O for outside. And then we're gonna take our other piece, like our other strip of paper that measures 11 inches by 2 inches. And then we are gonna score it at 1 5/8 because I did make the bottom a little wider so that like it doesn't close the box shut. Like it's not, like I'll show you. See how like the bottom has like, it's slightly wider, that way like you have something to hold on to. And this is gonna be like, you know, personal preference if you're gonna make your own box. So just keep that in mind. Okay, and then we're gonna turn this strip of paper on the 11-inch side and we're gonna score it 1 3/8. Okay. It is slightly smaller because the bottom of the box has to be slightly smaller so that it can fit onto the other side of the box. Okay, and then the next thing that you're going to need to do is like if you do have the die, you're going to need to like line this up, you know, against the score line that we made. And I would just line it up slightly above that. That way, you know, when you cut this out, there's you don't have like a bunch of holes on the bottom. So when you go to adhere this to your circle, you don't see those holes. So that's what you'd have to do. And then I'm just gonna insert a clip of how to, you know, die cut the entire length of the strip now. So in order to cut the entire length of our strip using our die, which is like obviously not long enough, we're just gonna have to do it twice. So you would just take your die and then place it just, you know, like slightly above the score marks that we made. And then use some light tack tape. Like I'm just using washi tape here, and you could use purple tape if you have that. Okay, and then secure it with the tape, and then just run it through the machine. Okay, I'm just gonna go backwards here. Oops, and I'm so sorry for all the shaking. Okay, and then you just remove that part and then add it to the rest of the strip. So I could just also like rip that part off because we don't need that. And then just cut the rest of the strip. So just place it again like slightly above the score mark, and then run the rest of this through the machine. Okay, and then that's what you should have. So you should end up with 2 pieces that look like this. And then for those who are not using a die, all you have to do is with your strips of paper, you're gonna cut like little triangles into the sides of the paper. So basically, like I already started it over here, and then little triangles, you know, just cut like little triangles on the side here like this, all along the length of your paper. And then I wouldn't recommend going too close to the score line. That way, you know, when you fold your paper, you don't get a whole bunch of holes. So that's what you'd have to do if you're doing it by hand. Okay, and then once you have your 2 strips, you're just gonna add your adhesive. And I'm gonna use score tape to both of them here. Okay, add your score tape, and then we're just gonna use like a bone folder to burnish that tape in. Okay, and then also fold and crease on those score lines. Like this is my outer one and I have it marked with a O just so I remember. But if you don't remember, you can always measure it again. The outer one measures 1.5 inches. Okay, so do that for both pieces. And then what I would also recommend is to cut your layering pieces now, because with this, like because we're trying to make the box fit, right? It's better if we add our layering piece so that, you know, it's gonna not throw us off later and you're not gonna have like gaps between your paper. So I would recommend having your layering pieces ready, and I will give you the measurements for the layering piece. Okay, so we're gonna put this over here, and I'm sorry about that. Okay, so now we're gonna cut our layering pieces. And for the piece that goes around the outside of the box, you're gonna need to cut a strip that measures 12 inches by 1.5 inches. And then for this strip, we are gonna score it on the 12-inch side at 1.5 inches. Okay, so just score and fold and crease that. And then for the other piece, which is the bottom layering piece, you're gonna need to cut a piece that measures 12 inches by 1 5/8. And I did that off camera. And then we're gonna score it at 1 3/8 inches. So here. Okay, and then just fold and crease that. And then next what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our bone folder and we're just gonna like curl these slightly. And then for the outer piece, I did mark it like with an O on the back just so that I remember like this one goes on the outer piece, like the outer side of our box. Okay, so that's the outer one. And then bring back those like 110-pound cardstock pieces inside, and we're gonna also like curl those pieces. That way, you know, you're not gonna get like a lot of creases. So curl those. This is a little difficult because it's on that side. Okay. I'm just gonna go like this on the back. So we're gonna curl those. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to like glue these layering pieces on right now. That way we don't get like bubbles in our paper. And then also it's gonna allow us to be more precise. So I'm gonna start with my outer layering piece. Just add like liquid adhesive. Oops, it's a little too much. Okay, and I am gonna do this off camera to save time. Okay, so once you have your layering pieces on, and it should look like this, and then just make sure your paper's all smoothed out so that you don't have any bubbles, especially like along the edge here. And then another thing I wanted to point out is because my paper is directional, like when I go to close the box, I want them like the pattern to be going in the same direction. So I actually had to turn this over and score on the other side because this is, these flaps are going to be the outside of the box. So, you know, they're going in the same direction, just to let you know. Okay, and then now what we're going to do is we're going to take the outer piece first. We are going to remove the adhesive on the strip here. And then we're going to attach it to one of the circles. Oops, and my tape is like breaking up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're just gonna grab one of our circles and then line it up with the bottom here. And I did it this way so that, you know, the break in the paper is not like somewhere up here, it's like at the bottom. And you don't see it like that easily. So just line that up, and now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna like, you know, line the flaps up against the circle right along the edge. Okay, and then you're gonna do that for the entire length here. And then I left the strip long just in case, you know, so you don't come up short. And then once we get to near where we have to glue it, I can see that, you know, this is too long, so I'm gonna cut off like 2 of these little flaps just a bit. Okay, and then you're just gonna tuck it under. And then again, make sure it's going like along the edge here. I'm just gonna hold it just like this because there's no score marks on it. I'm just bending it right where you know, it meets the other flap. And then you're just gonna add some of your liquid adhesive to that part. And then you kind of have to shape it a bit. Okay, and then just make sure like the walls of your box are like upright. Okay. And once it looks good, you can just take your bone folder and, you know, give these flaps a good burnish. That way they have a good stick to the inside of the box. Okay, and then before we, okay, well next what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna layer the inside of the box there. And you're just gonna have to cut around your circle like at least 1/16 of an inch off so that it's gonna fit nicely inside. Sorry, I'm just trying to go as fast as I can. And I'm gonna cut off a bit from the bottom as well. And then you can test it to make sure, you know, it fits properly. Okay, and once it does, we're just gonna glue this. And then just push it down. And you can use your bone folder just to make sure the glue is stuck on nicely. Okay, and then next what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the bottom of the box, or the inside piece. So you're just gonna set this aside and let it dry, and then we're gonna remove the adhesive on the bottom of the box. And then take another circle, and then because the bottom of the box is gonna have to be a little, you know, smaller than the top of the box, what we're gonna do is when we go to adhere this strip, right, we're gonna like make it go in slightly a little bit more. like at least a little more than 1/16 of an inch. That way, you know, it's gonna fit nicely. So see how I'm leaving about like 1/16 of an inch? And I would go like even a little more. So we're gonna do that carefully all the way around. And I'm gonna do this off camera. Okay, sorry, I had to do that off camera because that part takes like time and patience, and you have to do it properly so that the box fits properly. So basically all I did was I added the strip all along the circle, but I left about a space of 1/16 of an inch, like all the way across. I mean, all the way around, that is. And then, but for the bottom of the box, you can just make it like flat against the bottom of the box. You don't have to leave that 1/16 of a space. Okay, and basically once you have this, right, before you glue this flap on the inside, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your other part of your box just to make sure that this fits in properly. So now you're gonna test it. And then, so just put the bottom in first and then test it before you know, and this looks good to me. So, you know, just open and close it and make sure you can do it with ease and it looks good all around. And then once it looks good, what you can do is now you can, you know, put the glue on those flaps at the bottom. I'm gonna do if my glue works. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to get my pin here. Okay, and then so you're gonna glue that, and then for the outer the layering piece inside, you're just gonna have to cut around the edge again so that we can, you know, fit it nicely into this box. Okay, so add your glue. Of course, you would like wait for it to dry proper. And then also just test it one more time, like before you press down too much on this glue. Okay, so just do your final tests to make sure. Okay, and it looks good, so that is good. And then once everything fits proper, just burnish the inside of these flaps so that, you know, everything sticks nicely. Okay, and once that is done, you're just gonna take another your final layering piece, and you're gonna cut around the edge so that, you know, it's gonna fit into here more nicely. And like I did that portion off camera, I added the glue on the back here, and I'm just gonna stick it in now because that would be. And it's fine, like I'm just pushing it down a bit here because I didn't want to lose my stitch lines on my circle, and it's fine. Just take your bone folder, make sure. Okay, and then now all you have to do is we're gonna, you know, you just have to glue on the layering pieces that we cut out. And then add your handle. And then for the handle, like if you don't have this die either, you can make your own, and you can get as creative as you'd like with that. Okay, so we just add this, and basically like our box is gonna be done here. And then it's just a matter of, you know, decorating. So that looks good. And then this side. Okay, so I hope that was easy to follow, and like if I wasn't clear on any part, or if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'd be happy to answer. So that pretty much, you know, concludes the tutorial, and now is the fun part, which is decorating. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!